What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my very, very handsome co-host, Joey Wright. What's up, Joey?
There it is. Hey, I'm here. I'm excited to play some Pole Perception today. Let's go, guys.
Making the show extra handsome today. We've got two extra handsome guests joining us. First up, we've got our friend Russ, aka Dynasty Outhouse on Twitter. He's the podcast director over at DLF and a host of the Trade Addicts Pod, Dynasty Game Night, and Dynasty Wall Street. We also have our friend Jay Stein joining us. First time contestant here on the Fantasy Football Game Show. If you don't know Jay, you can find him on Twitter at _Jason Stein, and he's a featured writer over at Dynasty Nerds and a host and analyst over at the Devi Royale. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us today.
It took me weeks of begging Jay to get me back on here, so I'm thankful that his attention span is just short enough that it only takes a few weeks of begging for him to be like, "Oh my God, Russ, stop talking. Fine, go. It's fine."
It's weird because it was the opposite thing with Jay. Jay Felicio had to beg Jay Stein to come on the show. Meanwhile, you're begging Jay to get on the show.
Yeah,
that tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Happy Valentine's Day out there to all the moms, wives, significant others, children, especially to my wife, Megan Stein.
Shout out Megan Stein.
Happy
There we
Valentine's
go. Look at
Day.
that, Jay. Coming on with the smooth moves first thing on the show.
Yeah.
My wife just got mad at me for some reason, and no one knows why.
Smooth as hell. We got some people in the chat ready to celebrate Valentine's Day with us.
Celebrate with them.
Jay in here said, I'm here to percept some polls and chew some gum, and I'm all out of gum.
Simon, I'm going to blow everyone a kiss. I've decided. I did it with one. I'm going to do it with them all. Scampers.
Mr. Scamper's in here. Yeah, said I was told there'd be gum. Well, I'm sorry. We're all out. We just got polls to percept now. We got Dame in here. What's up, Dame? Welcome in. And Jay said the all facial hair episode today. Yeah, except I'm lacking up here. I'm doing my best. You know what's sad? I've been growing this mustache since October.
I think I shaved 2 days ago. So.
This is as good as it gets. This is the full extent of a mustache that can show up on my face. We got our friend Jordan in the chat. What's up, Jordan? Thanks for joining us. And Peng's Picks. What's up, Peng? He said, hey-oh, hey-oh. Jay here said, I heart Russ. And then said, wait, is that Jay's wife named Megan too? Is your wife's name Megan?
Yep.
This is getting weirder and weirder. FYF Jay. Is Jay married to a Megan as well? We got JL in the chat. What's up, JL? And there she is. Said, love the shout out. Good luck, Jay. We'll see.
Can I blow your wife a kiss? I won't be respectful.
Okay,
No, I'm not going to do it with her. Megan, it's in my heart, but I'm going to be respectful.
Thanks so much for joining us, Megan. Guys, before we get into our game today, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our guests, go and fix that right now. You can find Jay on Twitter at _Jason Stein right there below his handsome face on the screen. Then scoot on over a little bit to the next one, and you can find Russ's Twitter handle at Dynasty Outhouse right there. So go follow these guys, then come on back over here. Better yet, do it in a new window. You don't even have to close this. And then make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy so you don't miss any of the stuff we're putting out. We're live every morning for 3 hours of our Front Yard Fantasy morning show. And then we got stuff like this going on throughout the week as well. Are you guys ready to get into some poll perception?
Absolutely.
Born ready to get into some poll perception.
Russ is like, I've been doing film study for the last 3 weeks prepping for this moment.
I've been practicing my Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune for this moment, and then I see the tweet come out that we're doing poll perception. I'm like, oh, okay, no, that's fine.
I hope that applies. Well, guys, the game today is poll perception, like we've mentioned, and how it works is before this show, I found 7 of the juiciest, most succulent, delicious polls that Twitter had to offer me. What we're going to do is I'm going to propose one of those polls to a contestant. I may say, Joey, what percentage of people chose side A in this poll? You're then going to have to
43.
give me a number. Say 43%. The other two contestants are now going to have to guess whether the actual number is over or under the line that you just set. Joey, the closer you are on that number, the more points you're going to get, up to a max of 10 if you're exactly right. It's going to be 0 if you're more than 15 away, but it scales up in that range. And then the other two contestants, you'll get 2 points if you can correctly pick the over-under. We'll go like this, everyone doing 2 polls, so 6 questions until the 7th and final round where everybody writes a number. No more of this over-under nonsense. So my tradition is always forgetting to tell guests that they need pen and paper or a phone to write on. So hopefully you got something ready, and we'll have that by the end of the show. Whoever has the most points at the end of that round will be our poll perception champion. You guys ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Also, JL said, Jay, your camera quality is nice.
Hey, thanks, man.
You are looking crisp over there. Also, JL saying, Russ, love the Higgins jersey.
I'm too lazy to hang it up,
It's beautiful.
but it's right here.
I didn't realize there was more behind it. Gorgeous.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Russ, do you know that it was a running joke that for, I don't know, 9 months, all of my jerseys were on the floor? It's the place where they're supposed to go.
I can open the drawers I have over here where I have other jerseys not framed yet that have been in these drawers for, I'm going to say 3 years.
That's awesome. Don't let people bully you into hanging your jersey. I got bullied into hanging mine.
Me too. Addison Hayes, we do the DLF trade show, and every week he would just be like, seriously, man? And he has that nice setup behind him with like cabinets and things everywhere, and it's so pretty. And I have a blank wall, and he's just like, Russ, come on. And I'm like, fine. You know what?
Maybe next week.
I'll do it.
Dave in here said juicy polls. What's up, Dave? Thanks for joining us, my friend. And we got Shraggy in the chat, so make sure to get those points, unlike the Cowboys.
Just catching strays out here today. Wow.
And Jay said more than 9 months. Yeah, it was on the floor for a while. I was a little bit generous with myself there. Well, Jay, I'm going to let you decide whether you want to go first, second, or third in this game today. The poll order is already determined, so this will determine what polls come your way. Not that there's any strategy to it.
I'll go third.
Third for Jay. Russ, would you like to go first or second?
I can go first. Screw it.
Okay. Russ is going first. That means Joey second, and Jay is going to go third in today's game. A reminder to everybody watching, play along in the chat. As I ask these polls, throw your guesses in there. If you guys are right, we will shout you out. And if you guys are wrong, we will mock you relentlessly, but it's all part of the game. You guys ready for poll number one? Russ, you ready?
My camera isn't, but I am.
I was having that problem too, Russ. Went to get a cup of coffee, came back, and it was all blurry.
I was fine, and then he moved me to the top corner, and my camera's like, no.
Oh, that was me. So I'm already trying to sabotage your game. So
it's working. You are in my head already.
Prison rules here at that point.
One too many people called you handsome in the chat, and Joey was like, no, that's my shtick.
Have it.
Here's your first poll, Russ. Is Joe Mixon a buy or sell in Dynasty? Side A is buy. Side B is sell. What percentage of people chose side A in this poll?
28.
28% on side A. Joey, do you think the actual percentage of people that chose side A is over or under Russ's guess of 28%?
I'm going to go over because I feel like this is more like a 50-50 type poll. And this is such a polarizing poll too, because I mean, are you buying Mixon because the discourse on him right now is so low? Or are you automatically clicking sell because you want to sell Mixon? So I think this poll is going to be all kinds of wacky, but I'm gonna say over on the buy.
Joey taking the over. Jay, what do you think here? Do you think Russ's guess? Do you think the actual number is over or under 28%?
I'm gonna go exactly with Joey's rationale there and say the over here.
I can't wait for you both to be wrong.
Probably. Way to fall into my trap, Jay.
Joey and Russ are actually in cahoots. They're going to split the Colts cash at the end, and Joey's just going to try to misguide Jay the entire game.
I need some new socks.
Hey. Well, guys, we got 28% from Russ, double overs from our two contestants. We got some guesses in the chat. Shraggy coming in just saying sell. They would choose side B. Scampers thinks it's 11%. Shraggy guessing 62%. Pangs picks with 23%. Dave right in line with you, Russ, going with 29. Dame saying 43%. And Jay saying 35%. And Dave pointed out this is a polarizing poll. The results are all over the place. These guesses are.
In February, the answer should be sell. That's all I'm saying.
Every single time. Well, let's see if they agree with you. The actual percentage of people that said buy in this poll was 18%. So, Russ, you are correct, and you're within 10. So that is going to earn you 3 points for being within 10 right there. And Joey and Jay, you guys were skunked by taking the over. About as good of a round as you could have had, Russ, without getting it right on. It's going to be 3-0-0 to start the game. Who in the chat was the closest on that one? I think Scampers was.
Scampers 11.
I was 7 away, and then Pang was only 5 away. So Davis in there killing it as well. Nice job, Russ.
This is my first time playing the game. I don't know what Jay's excuse is.
Russ, I did want to ask you, you kind of alluded to it in your answering of the question. Do you think Joe Mixon is a buy or a sell right now in Dynasty?
Every old running back is a sell in general. Joe Mixon is an even bigger sell to me. Beyond the personal stuff, he just looks slow. When Samaje Perine looks great compared to you, sorry, Samaje. I know you watch, and I don't mean to insult you whatsoever, but yeah, it's time for them to go young, get running back. And yeah, I liked Mixon coming in, but he done.
Yeah. Jay, how do you feel about Joe Mixon? Similarly to Russ, or do you have a little bit more optimism?
I maybe a little bit more optimism. I don't know what happens with the off the field kind of stuff, but from a fantasy points per game perspective, for the last 3 years he was at 17% or 17 points per game, 18 points per game, and then in 2022 I have him down at 17 points per game. So, like from a fantasy perspective, if you could get him on the cheap and he's putting up 17 points per game.
Talk perspective on how he got to 17 points per game.
Yeah.
What was it? A big game or two? Am I forgetting a giant?
There was a
Mixon
5 touchdown game in the middle of there, so that does weigh things.
Not to play the game of take this out and he does this, because you can pull that on almost anyone. I think we deserve to call this an outlier and say that's not going to happen every year.
That being said, I'm maybe a little bit closer to Jay here, not because I think Joe Mixon's talent is like supreme, but his value is so depreciated in Dynasty right now. People are giving up on him, especially I feel like the off the field issues, which now all charges have been dropped for the time being. I know there's additional information that's waiting to come forward. The prosecutor said they were going to try to gather more information before bringing the case. But as for the time being, there are no charges being brought against Joe Mixon. And I feel like that just brought to light that he was likely going to be cut by the Bengals anyways. Know what I mean? Like he was likely already a cut candidate because of the contract situation, the amount of money they can save. The off the field issues made all the other fan bases realize he was likely a cut. And now the Dynasty community seems to be out on him. If he lands on a new team, like, I don't know, the Dolphins, our friend Coop brought that up on the morning show the other day. I'd be thrilled. Like I would be so hyped if Joe Mixon ended up over there. So not like a full buy, but I'm not out. I'm not out on Joe Mixon.
Yeah, no, don't overpay. But if you can get him really cheap, maybe it might work.
Russ, it seems like most people are agreeing with what you're saying here, though. 87% on the sell side. So it might be time to go trade for him if you got some hope in him. I might need to go send out some Joe Mixon trade offers then. And Russ, it sounds like you'll be happy to send them to me if we're any leagues together.
Absolutely. Yeah. He'd be all yours.
Perfect. We got Dame in the chat saying hi to Jail as well. And Albert over here saying hello, everyone. What's up, Albert? Welcome in, my friend. And Pang said, sorry I had to step away. What did I miss? Oh my
this
God.
guy killing it.
Russ is up 3-0, and we are moving on to Joey's first poll. Joey, are you ready?
Oh, Simon, am I ready?
Let's do this. Dynasty Superflex 12-team league. Side A is Justin Jefferson, and side B is Kenneth Walker and the 106 in this year's rookie draft. What percentage of people chose Justin Jefferson in this poll?
So I got Kenneth Walker probably as my second or third running back in Dynasty. Superflex brings that pick up a little bit. I'm still going to go the Justin Jefferson side. And I'm going to go 62%.
62% on the Justin Jefferson side for Joey. Final answer?
I'm going to bump it to 65.
65.
That
locked
sounds
in.
illegal. That sounds illegal. He said a number. He shouldn't be able to change it.
It was pre-lock-in. I'm going to allow it.
I'll stay at 62.
What's your final answer, Joey? It hasn't been locked in.
65.
65 locked in. Jay, do you think the actual percentage is over or under Joey's guess of 65?
I'm gonna go. Can I do the Queen Bee in this round?
You can Queen Bee.
Can I do that? I'm gonna go for that. Might as well go for. You got Russ getting 3 points in the first one. I might as well go for the whole thing here.
We got Jay saying that Joey's guess is exactly on. That it's exactly right. If he's right, he'll get 10 points as well as Joey. Russ, are you with Jay here? Do you think this is exactly right, or do you think the actual number is over or under Joey's guess of 65%?
I said in my head, I'm like, as long as he says somewhere in the 70s, I'm still taking the over. So I'm definitely taking the over in the 60s.
Okay. We got an
Yeah,
over. We got a queen bee, and we have a Joey who seems like he's unhappy with his answer.
No, I'm not unhappy with I'm just flattered that I got queen beat. I've never been queen bee before. Like, where someone agrees with me. So I'm just like, it's Valentine's Day. I guess I should
Makes you
get a
feel
little
any
blush.
better? He's game theorying it. It has nothing to do with what you said.
Oh man, Russ is just his strategy is to crush my soul today in this.
Everyone, because I'm not going to win, so I might as well just win at something.
He's like, Russ is like, we're all leaving sad today. Every single one of us. We have some guesses in the chat. JL with 68. Shraggy agreeing with 68%. Dave with 59. Peng going 74. Scamper's going 81%. Dame also guessing 81 and changing it.
They were both right last time.
To 82. Jay going with 85. And Tim going with 72%.
Hey, brother. Oh.
There we go. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
The actual percentage of people that chose the Justin Jefferson side over Kenneth Walker in the 106 in this poll was 88%. 88%. It was
nice.
High, man. Only 12% on the Kenneth Walker side of this one. Rush, you don't seem surprised. Joe, you seem a little bit surprised that it's that high.
I think we could all see the emotions I was going through on air today, and that I felt like I was low, but I'm like, oh man, but people love picks. So yeah, I would want Justin Jefferson. That's the side I would want. So I agree with Twitter.
Jay, what about you? Would you prefer the Justin Jefferson side or the Walker and the pick side?
I would heavily prefer the Justin Jefferson side. But, with these polls, you never know, because Walker's a young running back, candidate for Rookie of the Year. Had a very good season. So you pair that with 1.06, which could be like a JSN. And, people might be interested in that side on Twitter. But I think Justin Jefferson's the differentiated guy here. So got to go with him.
I'm with you.
If it were any other wide receiver besides Chase or Jefferson, I think we would have been talking in the 60s of percents, and it would have been a lot closer. But first of all, I'm just not super high on Kenneth Walker in general for fantasy. He's a great real life running back, but fantasy and the 106 is nice. Absolutely. You in a super flex league, you will get a very good player at the 106.
You could get like Royce Freeman or something there, or maybe Laquan Treadwell.
Dude, you were not getting Treadwell. It was 102 or nothing.
Just trying to name all the first round picks that I've made horribly over the past couple of years.
Hey,
it's
man.
Why I trade a lot of my first round picks.
Corey Davis and N'Keal Harry 101 many times. So I get it, but no, man, like that's not enough for Justin Jefferson. Like he's like one of the very few players where it's just like, nope.
It's got to be you got to send the whole farm to get Justin Jefferson on your team,
and you will never be sad that you did it.
Nope. My most recent bad rookie draft pick trade, like trying to get something done, was I was trying to decide between Jalen Waddle and Terrace Marshall, and JL offered me, I can't even remember what it was. It was like a third round pick or like scraps, like a random player that was retiring the next year to swap spots so he could take the 112 and I would take the 2-1. And I thought, I'll just get whichever one. I love both of these guys. They're both going to be great. And so I grabbed Terrace Marshall instead of Jalen Waddle, and now I'm just sitting here watching JL have an absolute blast with Jalen Waddle on his team. It's a nightmare, man. Damon here said, I have Justin Jefferson in a 12-team superflex, and my running back situation is gross. Mixon, Sanders, and CEH. And still, no way I accept that trade. And then Pang wants to know, Russ, I'm going to throw this one to you. Would the pull have changed if it wasn't Kenneth Walker, but rather Kenneth Runner?
It would have to be Kenneth pass catching.
Kenneth pass catcher, and then you're interested in
and then we'll get to it. Yeah.
Listen, I think we got a little imposter syndrome going on here. Craig, give Ping his account back.
Credit the dad jokes coming in from Davis's account. Well, Joey, unfortunately, that is going to score you 0 points for being more than 15 percentage points away. Jay, you followed him off the cliff and he led you astray. But Russ, you got those 2 points. That's going to bring you to a 5-0 lead through the first two polls. But it's a long game, baby. You have any idea how many 5-0 leads I've blown? A lot.
Just let me enjoy this while I have it, man. Come on.
I mean, it's in the bag, Russ. You don't have to worry about a thing. It's just easy sailing from here on out. Jay, are you ready for your first poll?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Here we go. This is a dynasty 2-quarterback PPR 10-team league. We got lots of qualifiers on this one. Dynasty 2-quarterback PPR 10-team. Side A is Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. Side B is Russell Wilson and AJ Brown. What percentage of people preferred side A, the Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill side of this trade?
Man, it is a 2 QB. So usually in 10 teams, 10 team leagues, you're not as worried about the QBs, but it is 2 QB. Not even super flex. You do have to start the second QBs. I don't know. I kind of feel like Tua with the injury concerns and Russ Wilson, even though he had a sort of a down year, I think this next year could be a little bit better. There isn't too much of a differentiator there. Tyreek Hill scores you a lot of points, but he's I think he turns 29 in March. And then AJ Brown would be the big crown jewel of this trade. So I do agree. For on the Russ side, you're kind of giving away some age there, but QBs can go for a little bit while, and then you got Sean Payton there. So I kind of lean side B in a dynasty from a dynasty perspective. But now I got to think about like the perception and what Twitter is going to say.
That's the trick to this.
So
game. You got to read.
You're playing the
Twitter.
game right, Jay.
So I'm going to say, I'll call it 45% Tua.
45% on side A. Locking that in, Jay?
Sure. Yeah.
Locked in. Russ, do you think the actual answer is over, under, or exactly the same? Queen Bead.
I'm going to go over, and purely out of personal bias of loving Tua. I have no real answer other than I love Tua. Tyreek scores a lot of points, and people don't like Russell Wilson right now. I don't have a strong, real, actual answer why, but I'm still just going to say above.
Russ, emotions are a real answer. It is a valid way to solve a problem.
I'm wearing them right here, baby.
Russ said, I don't have a real reason, just my feelings, man. And that's where I'm going. Joey, are you following Russ's feelings, or are you taking the under on Jay's guess of 45%?
So in a 10-team leagues, when there's, these trades are pretty even, but I would take the side with the player that I like the most, that I think the best player in the trade. So that's AJ Brown for me. I think Jay's line is really, really good, but I'm not going to Queen B because I don't want to give him that satisfaction on his first time on FYF. So I'm actually
he's edging.
I'm gonna go under just to try to a little gamesmanship, but I think it's a really good line.
Okay, Joey with the under on that guess. We had some guesses in the chat, and again, they're a bit all over the place. Another polarizing poll. Dave up here with 90% on the Tua side. Scampers with 69. Albert was 63. Then here's Shraggy right down agreeing exactly with you with 45%. Dame a little bit higher at 69. Pang guessing 59%. The Dame changed it. Said actually 73 because Scamper said 69. Tim said 99. Fins up. And JL guessing 41%. So a low of 41, a high of 99 asterisk 90.
They were all over except one.
I was feeling really good because you guys each guessed on either side, but then Mr. Scampers was really high up, and now I don't feel good at all.
It's a smart cat. It is a smart cat.
Yeah.
Well, let's see the actual percentage of people, guys, that chose the Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill side of this trade was 78%. This was 78% on the Tua and Tyreek Hill side. So I'm sorry, Jay and Joey, no points this round. But Russ, you're going to get an additional 2 points for correctly picking the over-under. This round is all Russ, baby.
Yeah, Russ is just cleaning up.
7-0-0 after that first round right here. But before we move on, I did want to ask, so Jay, you talked a little bit about this, saying that you would prefer the Russell Wilson, AJ Brown side. And it sounds like you've got some optimism for Russell Wilson going into next season, despite what we saw this year.
Yeah, a little bit of optimism. I think that, irrationality plays into people when we see what happens last season, and we just think that's going to continue on. But if you take a look at the whole picture and see like sort of how Russell Wilson has played over the last few years from a fantasy points per game perspective, he's done okay. It's not terrible. And so when guys get pushed down too far, I'm a little bit of player agnostic, and I'll take the price plus or at whatever the player is at cost plus a little bit extra in those types of situations. So, yeah, I mean, like this is not like a pound the table type of buy or anything like that, but I do think that like he probably can do better than he did last year. So
yeah, I hope so. I hope it doesn't go the other direction. And then Russ, you said you love Tua Tagovailoa. Is that from fantasy or you just love him as a man?
Both. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
But
The thing is, stats don't really matter, but it makes us feel good. And the fact that you got Tua and Tyreek on the same side, and most people don't dislike Tua. There's usually just like, he's good or So that made me feel a whole lot safer about this. Plus, that is just the side I like. I haven't had Russell Wilson on any of my fantasy teams since like 2015 because I just don't trust him when the end of the season rolls around. And while I do love AJ Brown, I feel like AJ Brown and Tyreek are probably close enough, even with the age difference, that I was all over that Tua side.
Take the young quarterback. It would be interesting if they would have asked this like a month or two ago, whenever like it was the height of not knowing if Tua was going to play, right? I bet the results would have been flipped. Like I bet this one has changed. The narrative's starting to shift now that Tua is talking. We're hearing that he's playing and I'm playing, right?
Yeah, but even like in 2 months, when we start getting those wonderful news articles about Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, it'll probably do the same thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun offseason news cycle with the Broncos and Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. Dame said, I love that Tua said he's going to train in judo and jiu-jitsu this offseason. Joey, is he going to your gym?
Yeah, absolutely. And that, we've been talking a lot about it. And I've said, listen, there's one way to avoid getting sacked, and that's to terrify the defense. And so this is the way he's going to do it. And I'm really proud of him, honestly. We've been working really hard.
That's awesome. Thanks for showing him the ropes. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, we are going to move on to our next match here. And by match, I mean round. And in this round, we are implementing a new rule. Ooh. Instead of just over, under, and queen bee, there are now two more options that you may guess as well. These are way over and way up, way under. Now, this is a double or nothing mechanic. And what it means is if you think your opponent has a guess that is 15 percentage points or more away, you can choose to guess way over or way under. If they are, you're going to get 4 points instead of the normal 2. But if they are not, if they're only 11 over, 14 over, you're going to get nothing, 0 points for that. So it's a nice little comeback mechanic or a pull away mechanic if you want to use it that way. Just some more options introduced here in the second round. You guys ready? Let's do it. Also, Scampers came in here talking about AJ Brown, said Philly losing their play caller too.
They're losing every coordinator and coach they have besides their head coach. Yeah.
We'll see how good Nick Sirianni is next year, I guess, right? Find out what he's up to. Russ, poll number 2. You ready? Yep. Here is your poll. What is the best quarterback tight end duo of all time? Side A, Brady Gronk. Side B, Mahomes Kelsey. Side C, other. What percentage of people do you think chose side A, Brady and Gronk?
Everyone else's questions better have 3. I'm still going to go pretty high. I'm going to go probably 64%.
64% on the Brady Gronk side. Joey, do you think the actual percentage of people that chose Brady and Gronk as the best quarterback tight end duo of all time was over or under Russ's guess of, was it 64%?
I don't think other is going to get more than the comical 2% of the vote here, because I honestly, like, what other duo do you want to throw in there?
Hey, Matt Ryan and Tony Gonzalez were great together.
Yo, that's a great call out. I thought you were about to give a joke answer, Russ, for some reason, and that came out, and I was like, no, you're right.
It's the best tight end I could think of, and I'm like, really? Am I going to say Matt Ryan? Guess I have to.
I'm going to go, you said 64?
Yeah.
Man, Russ, that's a fantastic guess. Tim's watching, right?
Tim is watching.
My secret.
Queen Bee.
I have no idea what to guess, and June 4th is my son's birthday, so I just went with 6'4".
Beautiful.
Queen Bee.
And Joey said, I like that strategy. Happy birthday, Russ's son. I'm Queen Bee in it. We got a Queen Bee from Joey calling a shot. Jay, what do you think here? Over, under, way under, or Queen Bee on Russ's guess of 64% on the Brady Gronk side?
Yeah, so I was thinking this is maybe going to be a little bit more closer to 50-50, even with the history of Brady Gronk. And I was going to go the way under until you guessed 64, because I was going to get that with a 50 or 49 there. But now I'm thinking no. So I'm going to go just the plain old under.
Jay taking just a plain old under. None of that way under business. So we got Russ at 64%, Joey with the queen bee, and the under from Jay. And we have some guesses in the chat. Where did these guesses start? I think they started right here. Is Jay's guess. Payne came in with 23%, Dave with 32, Tragey going 33, Dame with 44, Albert with 36%, Jay with 56%, One Nation Underground with 55%, Tim going 51%, Megan guessing 57%, and Mr. Scampers with 51% in here. And we got JL coming in with 48%. And Grandfan going Queen Bee. Agreeing with you, Joey. Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Brady and Gronk as the greatest quarterback tight end duo of all time was 51%. Russ, you are just within that range, so you are going to get 1 point. Joey, you're going to stay at 0. But Jay, welcome to the scoreboard. This is going to make the score 8-0-2 after that round right there. And shout out, there was someone in the chat who I feel like was very close on that one. Megan with 57% close on that one. One Nation, 55%. Oh, and Tim, exactly right. 51%. Nice job, Tim. Joey, you asked if Tim was in the chat. And yeah, here's Tim in here saying I queen beat myself, Joey. I did it for you.
Good job, Tim.
Too many kids in your chat and taking these polls.
We got One Nation in here saying Romo Witten as the greatest tight end quarterback duo of all time.
Anybody with Jason Witten. So that's not fair. Because Dak was great with Witten also. Oh, Rivers
Gates. That's a good one.
And then Jay said Eli Manning plus Kevin Bott.
Jay.
That's his answer right there. No,
Good
I think the Rivers.
Was it Dallas Clark? Was that Peyton Manning's?
Yeah, Dallas Clark.
That'd be a good one.
Breeze
not
and
the greatest.
Graham.
Breeze and Graham. That's a good one.
Russ, who's your greatest
Fields
quarterback tight end duo of all time? Is it going to be Brady Gronk?
Yeah, I mean, I want to joke around and say like Eli, Jeremy Shockey or something, but Joe Flacco and the 6 tight ends they always had on the Ravens. But yeah, it's Brady Gronk was just not fair at times. To me, that's the easy answer.
Jay, what about you? Are you agreeing Brady Gronk? Because you called it that it was going to be close to 50-50.
Yeah, I think right now it's probably Brady Gronk, but I think by the time a few years from now, I think it probably could be Mahomes Kelsey.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I'm still going to say Brady Gronk, but if they do this 2 more times, like if they run this back a couple more times in the next 3-4 years, like, man, that's going to be hard to avoid
in
that
like
conversation.
10 years when they both change teams and do it on another team, and then we can start talking because Kelsey and Gronk are like the same age.
That's wild. That is insane. How old are they? How old is Gronk?
Gronk's, I mean, he's probably like
30-something.
34
Gronk
maybe.
Age.
And
he's 33, and he turned 34 in May. Man, you were
Kelsey's
right on the money with that.
32. So get out of here.
Kelsey's 33. Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Kelsey is in significantly better shape than Gronk is, but
it's working. Tragey came in and said Garoppolo, Kittle, and then Mr. Scamper said the San Francisco QB1 and Kittle.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Let's make it generic. That's perfect right there. And Grimfan said McNabb, Ertz as the greatest.
Sure.
Up there. I think we're going a little bit far from greatest now with some of these, with Garoppolo, Kittle, and McNabb, Ertz. Russ, you've got a commanding lead now. I need to update this score, but Jay is starting to make a comeback. It is 8-0-2. And Joey, you are up now. Are you ready for your next poll?
Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna get a 10 here.
Okay. Here is your next poll. If Mahomes and Andrews are 1 and 2 in a Superflex startup, who is your 103? Side A, Jalen Hurts. Side B, Joe Burrow. Side C, there you go, Russ. Other. We got 3 options for Joey.
Is that supposed to be Allen?
Is that supposed to be Allen? Yeah. Like, what am I missing here?
Or
Oh,
like
yeah.
is Mark Andrews the 102?
No, someone came in here and edited my question to say Andrews instead of Allen, and I didn't type it wrong at all. Should I gaslight you guys into thinking that it always said Allen?
Well, I didn't know if it was Kelsey
in here.
Go ahead.
Just sabotage. It ain't right. It ain't right.
I'm trying to. I mean, Joey has 0 points. It's pretty clear at this point. I'm rigging the game against them. I'll start over. If Mahomes and Allen are 1 and 2 in Superflex startups, who was your 103? Side A, Jalen Hurts. Side B, Joe Burrow. Or side C, other? What percentage of people said Jalen Hurts in this poll?
This isn't part of the poll. You'd be shocked. I was in a draft last night, and Jalen Hurts went as the number 1 quarterback at the end of the first round. I was shocked to see that. Anyways, Superflex startup, 1 and 2, Mahomes and Allen. I don't see another quarterback entering the conversation right now on Twitter. Herbert was there. Oh, hello.
Hi,
Herbert was there last year. I'm going to go 69% Happy Valentine's Day, Jalen Hurts.
69% Happy Valentine's Day, Jalen Hurts. Jay, do you think the actual percentage of people who chose Jalen Hurts as the 103 is over or under Joey's guess of 69 Happy Valentine's Day?
You have to say Happy Valentine's Day if you say it.
Yeah, otherwise you're I'm
going to try and go for the points here, and I'm going to go way under here.
Taking the way under on Joey's guess of 69%. Okay. Russ, do you think the actual percentage is over or under Joey's guess of 69%, or way over, way under, or queen bee?
I am going to see. I think Hurts is the right answer, but I don't know how much people are ready to buy into it. So I'm going to say under. I'm not ready to say way under, so I'm just going to go with under. Even though, again, Hurts is the right answer.
Let's see what the chat thought in this one first. Dame said, dog, dog, dog. Pang said, OMG, that dog. Mr. Scamper said, oh, dog.
Well, Scamper said it for a different reason.
Yeah.
What's the pup's name?
Just busted out of the room.
Her name is Chukabaka.
Hi,
Chukabaka. Oh, look at the big kisses. Yes, look at you.
My daughter wanted a dog named Chewbacca, but couldn't. She was young, so she couldn't actually say Chewbacca, so she said Chukabaka. So, even though it was 2 years later, I still named this dog Chukabaka.
Oh, 100%. That's awesome. We have some guesses in the chat. Dave in here with 40. Pangspic's going with 34%.
That's too
Dame going 55%. Scamper's going with 29%. And Grimfan agreeing with Scampers at 29%. Shregi going with 41%. One Nation Underground said 11%. Jail going with 23%. And Tim going with 39%.
Who do y'all think is the 3 then?
The actual percentage of people.
The 3 is like it can't be Kyler anymore. That's usually my default.
They could be on the Burrow side. They could just be saying this is Burrow.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think there's that much love for Herbert out there.
Yeah. Not right now, at least.
Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Jalen Hurts in this poll was 54%. Jay, by the skin of your teeth, exactly 15 percentage points away. Your way under is going to pay off. That's going to earn you 4 more points. Joey, that's going to get you 1 point. You're on the board for being within 15 and 2 points for us. Everybody scores this round.
I'm still in the game.
Oh, it brings you into it. Joey, that's going to bring you to a grand total of 1 point.
That's
Jay, that is going to bring you to 6 points. And Russ, that is going to put you at 10. And suddenly, it is a game, baby. It's a game. Which means, Jay, we are on to your last poll of this game before we get into the final round. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Here's what I want to know. Or here's what I want to know what you know about what people think about this. Is Kyle Pitts a bust? Side A, yes. Side B, no. What percentage of people said yes, he is a bust?
My personal opinion is Kyle Pitts is not a bust. I think you should buy Kyle Pitts. I did a YouTube video on this topic. Go and check it out. What people are going to say, is Kyle Pitts a bust? Side A is yes. So I'm going to say that is 31% said yes.
31% saying yes, he is a bust. Final answer?
Final answer.
Locked in. Russ, do you think the actual answer is over or under Jay's guess of 31% here, or way over, way under, or queen bee?
In my head, I said probably 35-65, and he said 31. So I guess I'm going over. I don't feel great about it, and I don't have the guts to queen bee it, so I'm just going to go over.
Russ taking the over. Joey, what are you doing here?
I'm gonna go under. Yeah.
The answer is no. By the
Yeah,
way,
it's not, no.
He is not. But still, people
I still got time.
paid a lot for him and got upset that he didn't score millions of points.
We got some answers in the chat. Shraggy coming in with 58%. Dave going 42%. Tim guessing 8%. Dame more in line with you with 26%. Grim said 100% yes. Mr.
Grim has been
Scampers.
scorned.
Scampers with 33%. Albert with 21%. And One Nation Underground coming in with 22%. The actual percentage of people that said yes, Kyle Pitts is a bust was 26%. So, Jay, you are within 5, which means you're going to earn 5 more points, putting you in the lead going into the final round with a round to be remembered. Joey, that is going to earn you 2 points for correctly predicting the over-under, bringing you to 3 points and keeping you in this game. Russ, you have 10 points as we go into our final round. Now, Joey, for you to win,
I've done it once before.
You've done it once before. You have to get it exactly right in the final round. Jay and Russ, if you guys are the closest, regardless of what happens, you guys win. And then if Joey is the closest but doesn't get it right, Jay, you got one more win condition there. Before we get into that, though, I did want to talk a little bit about Kyle Pitts. Joey, is Kyle Pitts a bust?
No.
Why not? He's been so bad.
I know, but
if you ignore the 1,000-yard season.
Exactly. In his rookie season, it really was just lacking touchdowns. I mean, the yardage was there, but tight ends historically don't really break out until their third year, and that's what we're going into. And this Atlanta offense was rebuilding last year. I mean, you've got the Twin Towers of Drake London and Kyle Pitts now. I can't wait to see how it runs with a comparable quarterback. Let's go. He's not a bust at all.
Not a bust. Russ, you agree? And it sounded like you agreed, saying no, he is not a bust.
No, the only I was writing on the fact that people would be bitter about what they had to spend to trade for him or draft him in a startup, and him not give those points back because he did not. But it shouldn't matter. Everything has context, and the context of Kyle Pitts has been really crappy around him. So getting 1,000 yards and even the 1 touchdown his rookie year was great.
Jay, is Kyle Pitts your dynasty tight end 1, or are there other tight ends ahead of him?
No, he'd be my tight end 1. And to get more specific, the way I do my dynasty stuff is I come up with like valuations. So I like to guess where I think these guys can get on a KTC basis. So right now, Kyle Pitts is at like 5,500, and I think he can get to like 6,500-ish. So it's like 20% upside from here.
That's awesome.
But go buy Kyle Pitts.
I love that way of looking at it, though. It's not just about what can they give you now. It's about which direction is their value going, right? You got to look at that line. Which way is it going? Damon here got it exactly right. We've had a couple exactly right. Shout out, Dame. Nice job with the 26%. And we had a question from Grim before we move on to the final round. Grim wanted to know, we were talking about some of the best quarterbacks, who would be best after Hurts and Burrow. Wants to know if Fields would be one of the top picks for quarterbacks in a dynasty league. Joey, where do you think Fields deserves to be drafted? Is he a top tier quarterback in dynasty?
Not top tier. I've got him just below the Justin Herbert tier for me. So I need to pull up my rankings, but like I'm taking, of course, Mahomes, Allen before him, Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Herbert, and then think that's where I'm going to start going for
Lamar?
Justin Fields. I would take Fields before Lamar.
I was asking. I think that's
there.
around
That's
where
the
the line
tier.
is.
I put Lawrence in there with him
Lamar
right now.
Was going to be playing for. Would you
This
put
is
Lamar
true.
above him? Like that's the only like that's the
Let's
name.
say
that-
Lamar's back
that-
on the Ravens. I probably would take Lamar before Fields,
but
not knowing.
I've got Fields and Lawrence at 7 and 8, and you could flip-flop them. You could swap them back and forth. I love both those guys. I'm excited to see what they do next year, and I hope the Bears do something for Justin Fields like the Jaguars did for Trevor Lawrence, adding all those pieces for him.
For me with Fields and Lawrence, it's going to be what kind of team I've built to that point. If I need to swing for a home run, I'm going to grab Fields. But if I like my team a lot, I'm probably going to take Lawrence because I feel a lot safer with him.
Jay, where do you stand on Justin Fields? Are you as optimistic about him, or maybe a little bit more reserved that it's not going to pan out in Chicago?
No, I've been a very big Justin Fields bull. It was one of my biggest dynasty buys last offseason. Don't get fooled by the language coming out of Chicago. I think Fields is Chicago's going forward quarterback, and I think he'll be pretty good. Putting up 20 fantasy points per game this last season is pretty great. He has that rushing upside. It's a name you want to own for, I think, and he can, sit at the top of your board for a very long time and help your team. So yeah, I'm pretty bulled up on Justin Fields. Now, when you're comparing him to like a Trevor Lawrence, he looks like he's currently trading at 6,400 on KTC, and Trevor Lawrence is trading at 7,800 on KTC.
So there's a decent gap.
So there's a huge gap there, even though when you go and you actually select the guys on your startup draft and you're looking at ADP, there might not be too much of a gap. On KTC, there's over 1,000 KTC point differential there. So when you're thinking about that perspective, it looks like Justin Fields right now is a pretty decent buy if that's who you're comparing him to.
If I've got Lawrence, that makes me think maybe I need to go trade Lawrence for Fields plus. Like, see if I can get that done. Go see if I could make a move there. Russ shaking his head no.
I mean, it's the right dynasty move. I just really like Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I love both those guys. I'm just excited for both of them. If I could have a team with both of those guys on it, I'd be excited going forward. We have one more poll, guys. One more coming your way. There were some brutal polls that round. All three of you, I found all three of these polls. The Tua and Russell Wilson one, the Kyle Pitts one, and the best quarterback tight end duo one are like, oh man, these are going to be brutal. But we got one more in the final round. As a reminder, no more over-under nonsense here. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to write your answer down on a piece of paper or on your phone, whatever works, whatever's handy. And I'll ask everyone to reveal their answers. Whoever has the closest is going to get 5 points. Unless they get it exactly right, they will get 10 and be our champion for today. You guys ready for that final round?
Yeah.
Here we go. How are we feeling about that holding call, fam? Side A, correct call. Side B, can't call that. What percentage of the people said correct call?
Those are both correct answers. Because it was holding, but they should not have called it.
I just deliver the polls how they're written, Russ. You got to dissect what the people would have dissected when looking at this. So side A, what percentage of people chose correct call on this poll? And this is talking about the holding call at the end of the Super Bowl that gave the Chiefs a first down, allowed them to run out the clock and kick that field goal. I'm one Mr. Bradbury. And Scampers is agreeing with you, Russ, saying agree. Both. Correct call, and you can't do it. Let me know when you guys have your answers. And people in the chat, throw your answers in there as well.
I'm good.
Okay, Russ has got his. Joey putting some finishing touches on his. It looks like Jay has his. Okay, let's go ahead and reveal those answers, guys. What do we got? Joey with 19%. We got 49 from Jay and 69. Happy Valentine's Day from Russ. 69 Happy Valentine's Day, 19 and 49. It's the day of nines.
I got some room. I
knew I wasn't going to end up winning this, so I just went for funny.
The Jeopardy, the final.
You're
Jeopardy.
Winning though. Oh wait, no.
I'm not.
Oh no.
I told you from the beginning. Let me enjoy this because I'm not going to win.
Don't worry.
Jay took the lead at the last second. Well, guys, we have some answers in the chat as well. Shraggy coming in with 87%. Dame with 35. Dave with 36. Grim said 100% B. It's the Super Bowl. Let him play. Shraggy changed his mind and said 12. Scamper's going with 28. Jay with 36. Scamper saying, Happy Valentine's Day, Russ. Right back at you. 69. Happy Valentine's Day. Well, the actual percentage of people that said side A, correct call, was 22%. Joey, you were only 3 percentage points away, but that's not going to be enough to win. Meaning, Jay, you are our champion today with a final score of 11, 10 to 8. Ended up being pretty close there at the end, even though it's
good. It's respectful final scoreboard there for us all.
11, 10 to 8. Jay, congratulations. Anybody you want to thank? Any speeches you want to give?
Yeah, just happy Valentine's Day to my wife. Thanks for watching the show. You can
Well
find
done.
my content on Dynasty Nerds and the Debbie Royale. Please join up on that Patreon. It's awesome Patreon. So
Guys, listen to the man. Go check out his work on Dynasty Nerds in the Dead Royale. They got a solid team of people over there. And follow Jay on Twitter at _Jason Stein. And if you weren't convinced already, how are you going to say no to that face up there on the screen? Go follow Russ on Twitter as well at Dynasty_Outhouse. And if you won't do it for him, do it for Chukabaka. Did I nail it? Is that the right? Did I get the mispronunciation correct?
Yep, Chukabaka.
Nailed it.
Chukabaka.
Megan in the chat celebrating the victory and said, nice job to all. And Dame said, wonderful game show. Love to you all.
Megan, you're spending Valentine's night with a winner. So
With a
enjoy your dinner
champion.
and chocolate covered roses. Or wait, no, chocolate covered strawberries. That's it. That's what Jay's gonna go buy you at the store right now. Because I said it and I'm a sore loser. So
I can't hear chocolate covered rose without it triggering like a really sad childhood memory.
can you eat a chocolate covered rose?
Well, I bought a chocolate covered rose to bring to the girl that I liked in 3rd grade, and I gave it to
Okay.
her. And then the next day she came to school and she walked up to me and she said, thanks for the chocolate rose. I fed it to my dog. And then she walked away.
Did her
What a- I hope her dog died. Like,
Which,
and I
she
love
was-
dogs.
She surely didn't feed it to her dog. She was just being mean. But every time I hear chocolate rose, that story comes flooding back.
What's her name? What was her name? It's
I am not doxing anybody on the show. Her name was Joey Wright. Guys, that is going to be it for us today. One more time, if you haven't followed our friends Jay and Russ, go and fix that right now. Champion Jay and Chukabaka's best friend Russ at Dynasty Outhouse and at Jason_Jason Stein. We'll be back tomorrow morning on the Fantasy Football Game Show from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So come hang out with us bright and early if you happen to be awake the day after Valentine's Day. Until then, though, we're out of here. Big thanks to Russ. Big thanks to Jay. And thank you to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Adios, everyone.
Bye, everybody.